Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm John Cunningham, and I'm standing in Orlando in the Deep Space Lab. And today we're doing something very exciting, which I would consider a world's first. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be showing how we can collaborate in virtual reality in physical spaces along with virtual spaces across 4 different or 5 different locations in the world. And what we're going to be doing is running through a number of different scenarios and showing different use cases using XR, using collaboration. And then we have something really special, which has not been done before, which we'll explain in a moment. So first thing, team here at Deep Space in Orlando, wave your hands. We got Jesus up at Ohio University in his one room in Athens. We have the Virtualware team in Bilbao, Spain, running Pico and HTC, 2 different location-based tracking systems, and our CTO, Sergio Barrera there, who was driving the session. Thank you very much. We have Alberto Carlier joining us from his home, running single player on a Meta Quest 3. We also have Ed Martin from his home in Detroit, Michigan, running all of this on a $650 laptop with an integrated GPU.
Yep. Hey, everyone. And to add on to what John just said, one of the unique aspects of this is the fact that we're running in VIROO rooms using mixed headsets. So we're using HTC Focus Visions. We have some Pico headsets. So there's a real variety of hardware. Right now, you see a bunch of people standing around, and we're inside a building. And this review that we're going to walk through is an early version of the VIROO BIM review template. And what we did here is we took a Revit model straight out of Revit and imported that into Unity using the Unity Asset Manager. So essentially the Pixies functionality behind the scenes. And the team in Bilbao, Spain opened up the session, sent us the session ID, and we all joined in from multiple locations around the world. By the way, I mentioned mixed hardware. I'm running this on a really low-end laptop that cost literally $650. So, integrated graphics about as inexpensive as you can get, and it runs great. So effectively, what we did with this VIROO template, we brought the Revit scene in. You do not need a copy of Revit. All you need is a copy of Unity Industry that has the Unity Asset Manager and Pixies functionality built in. The import script brings everything in. It cleans up any duplicates. It creates instances of duplicated geometry and optimizes the entire scene so that it's very performant. So what we can do with this is we can review building designs. And in this case, you can see one of the things that's been done. If you look at the screen, you can click on these doors as well as many other doors. They're interactive. You can make the script that we created automatically makes these doors interactive. That was all driven through metadata on the doors. I should mention, when you import all this stuff, the hierarchy is fully preserved. The metadata is fully preserved. So a lot of this optimization, a lot of the work that's done can be strictly driven from metadata. You see that a few people are now throwing chairs around, so showing that the physics is respected here. You can, again, using metadata, decide what objects that you want interactable. So say, for example, you're doing a design review and you want to work on lighting. You can take the light fixtures and in the scene, you can move them back and forth. You can move furniture around. So it's not just a static walkthrough of a building. It's being able to interact with that building.
And I got a question for you. So
yeah.
So one of the things that we've been seeing especially in the construction and the architecture industry, is that people design these very complex things. Like in this case, we're pulling in an entire building, and they want to be able to make design changes and then share that with stakeholders, with construction companies, with project managers. What has been the traditional process of doing that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, usually companies end up using dedicated SaaS apps that are specifically designed for design review. The thing is with that, I mean, that works perfectly well in many cases. they can be expensive. Licensing can be expensive in some cases. And in addition to that, if there's any functionality you need, you pretty much have to depend on the vendor to add that functionality. With this template, the functionality is all built in, and if you want to extend the functionality, it's pretty straightforward in Unity to do so. So, and of course, once you publish this this Unity app, you can, with VIROO, of course, you can just load it into a VIROO room, and as long as you have enough VIROO licenses, you can have as many people join into that session as you want. So, really extending this to VR and making that VR collaborative and making the model interactive and being able to use whatever headset, hardware, or just cheap laptops that anybody has. That's really what's unique about this, is the flexibility.
Okay, so I can so for example, I can take a design of a building, make some changes, import it into Unity, and then directly into VIROO, and say 30 minutes have people around the world collaborating in VR on desktop. Is that roughly the workflow?
Exactly. But let me show you a couple of cool tricks. So okay. I'm going to pull up a menu here. And what I did, I just hit the L key, but you could do this in VR, with a controller. And so we have layer visibility, so you can turn things on and off. Now, we just cobbled this together. We're not architects, but essentially we used metadata in the file. So remember, I mentioned that when Unity Asset Manager brings this data in, it preserves all the hierarchy, all the metadata. There are categories defined in Revit: electrical or furniture or mechanical. I can, for example, turn off all the furniture and it disappears. I can turn off the doors, walls, and windows, and those will also disappear. So, the interactivity of this is just incredible. So I can make doors, walls, and windows disappear. I can make ceilings disappear. I've also set up a teleport point. So I'm going to turn these all back on, so we see everything the way it's supposed to see. Up there, the furniture comes back. Turn the menu off, and I'd like everybody to follow me up to the 3rd floor. So we've set some teleport points here, and we have 4 teleport points set up. Those can also be set up automatically. So say, for example, you want certain points in a building that you want everybody to always be able to teleport to. You can create metadata, identifying those as teleport points, and then you can essentially just automatically create these teleports. So in this case now, we're up on the 3rd floor in the clinical area, and we wait for a few other people to join with us here. I'm going to pull our menu up, and I can turn off specialty equipment. So you can see
let me interject. So what we're actually seeing here, we got people in Athens, Ohio, in a VIROO room. We've got people in Spain. And in Spain, in the Virtualware office. And by the way, they're also running in both HTC and Pico devices. And you're running from your laptop computer at home. And then we've got Alberto running on a Meta Quest from his home. Everyone's able to walk through this building design review process with a very high level of performance, and to physically walk around or teleport around. Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've tried this out in VR on a low to mid-range VR capable laptop. VR is just butter smooth. Their performance is well in excess of what you would need. So I don't know. I mean, it's hundreds of frames per second in performance. It's perfectly smooth for me on my little cheap laptop that I'm running this on with integrated graphics. And as you can see, the visual quality is pretty good too. We've got anti-aliasing on. There are no jagged corners or anything. You see a few little artifacts like there on the projection screen and such. That's the result of duplicate geometry in the original model. Also something we can clean up automatically. We just haven't done that yet. So, I mean, there's a lot of power.
This is literally a BIM model that's just been brought in. There's been nothing done to the BIM model. Okay.
It was literally the entire process from beginning to end, from importing the model to building it and opening up in VIROO, is minutes. And it's can be virtually entirely automated. So if you've got a standard schema for your BIM modeling and standard categories and such, and standard review points in a model, You can essentially just set up the import script, and it's all automatic.
Okay. Can this also work for CAD models?
This can also work for CAD models. So Unity Asset Manager, the underlying Pixies capabilities, works for just about everything. Siemens NX, SolidWorks, Autodesk Inventor, you name it, CATIA data, in addition, of course, Revit data, as we're showing here, and a number of other formats. You can also use mixed models. You can bring in different kinds of models into the same scene. So yeah, there's an incredible flexibility with this.
So this is potentially a real game changer for the AEC industry, would you say?
It is, and it's really the flexibility of being able to do this in Unity without a lot of strings attached. You decide what functionality you need. You tailor it to your own needs, and and then as you can see, the performance and the power of this is just it's completely up to the task. And this is a huge building, and I have no doubt that if we loaded an even larger facility and we would have equal performance.
Okay, great.
There's a lot of optimization done on this, and it's all done automatically.
No, all automated optimization. That's important.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask our participants here in Deep Space. Kyle, Jordan, what are you seeing? How do you feel about this? Jordan?
The same stuff that he just covered. We're currently within this area. It's clean, just a little bit of fracturing. Otherwise, it's cool to be able to move around with everybody and see everything at the same time.
Right. And Kyle, you work in the architecture, engineering, construction industry. What are your thoughts on this?
Look, overall, the performance is really smooth. The experience has been relatively frictionless and flawless, right? So really impressive. I think I see a lot of value in the remote viewing capability across mixed hardware devices, right? Low-end laptops, high-end VR, XR devices, really impressive all around.
All right. Ed, do you have anything else on this one that you want to add?
No, there's nothing else for me to add here. I'm sure we'll generate plenty of questions from people who see this, and we're happy to answer those questions. But now, why don't we move on to the next demo?
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate that. Okay, everyone. We are now in a different use case. What we're doing here is we're going to be showing how you can use collaborative virtual reality in headset and on desktop to be able to do design reviews and user feedback testing of actual designs. So the situation here is that we are a restaurant operator, and we are testing some new kitchen designs to see which ones are the most effective. And this is a very simple example, but it's designed to show the power of getting people together in a physical space and in virtual spaces to be able to collaborate on unique designs. So the first thing we have a scene here, which is of just a normal commercial kitchen. And what I'd like to ask all the participants to do is just kind of walk around, go through the kitchen, familiarize yourself with it for a few seconds, okay? And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to go over to the one side of the kitchen, because we're going to change scenes in a second. And you're going to see something different in the second kitchen than in the first kitchen, okay? So if we could change to scene 2. And everybody let me know when you're in scene 2. 5 seconds. Are we in scene 2 now?
I'm there.
Okay.
Wait. Let me get back in the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you all could walk around this kitchen, and Kyle, since we're standing here together, can you see anything different about this kitchen?
It seems that there's a lot less clearance on the cooler side of the kitchen than there was previously. It feels a lot more open on this opposite side where I was standing earlier.
Can you open the door to the refrigerator? Or Jordan, can you open the door to the refrigerator? Or can somebody open the door to the refrigerator?
Yeah, barely.
Does it open?
No, there's definitely not enough clearance there with the current design.
So if you were working in this kitchen and you were a chef, would you be able to work in that space?
Oh, no, you're going to have a hard time keeping a chef in this kitchen.
Okay. So what you can see here is that what we did was we moved the center aisle of the kitchen closer to try to open up more side on one space of the kitchen, But what we ended up doing was removing space between the kitchen line and the refrigerator, which you can no longer walk through. So Kyle, in your opinion, which of the kitchen designs would you recommend?
It's a difficult decision, but I'm going to go with the first one when you can actually open the cooler.
Okay, very good. And really that was the purpose of this test case, was to show, and by the way, this is a modeled kitchen. This isn't just, we could bring models directly from BIM or CAD, but this kitchen is actually modeled because it was also used to train people on how to assemble different dishes at different culinary schools. So we're now combining the power of training along with commercial kitchen design and engineering design review. All right, well, hey, everyone, thank you very much. That is the end of use case 2. Now let's move to use case 3. So Gaishka, if you could please send the session link over. And again, what's happening here is that we have someone who is managing the sessions, who's actually setting up the different sessions and sending the link over Teams to everyone that's participating in the session so that they can then participate in that session.
That's perfect. John, should we jump to the demo session now? To the demo application?
Please jump to demos. Thank you.
That's perfect. As John said, I'm gonna kill you guys. This one, I'm gonna create the new one.
Okay, everyone. Now we're showing a different use case. We're showing an example of how you could use virtual reality in collaboration around different locations, different headsets, and something as simple as doing a design review of a new car design. And so if someone could go ahead and take the cover off the car, go ahead and interact with the doors. And what you can see now is we're getting a group of people from around the world to be able to go around and physically look at the design, talk about it, share notes, in a very high fidelity example of virtual reality.
We believe in the power of dreams.
We believe in humanity.
We believe in technology.
We believe that together, we can change the world.
We care for sustainability.
We care for innovation.
We care about trust.
We care about moving society forward.
We push the boundaries of virtual reality.
We accelerate its adoption, and we help companies and institutions create a better future.
We believe, we care, we do. We are Virtualware.
Okay. All right. Now what we'd like to do is we're going to, within the same application, we have a number of different scenes. We're now going to change to a healthcare example. So Gaishka, could you please transport us to the hospital scene?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this application was developed for medical students, first-year medical students, to help them navigate and understand a typical hospital room. And there's some interactive examples here. This is a very simple design. It's not designed to teach clinical procedures. It's more of just an example of how you can use collaborative XR to, again, bring people in different locations into a virtual and physical space together. All right, thank you very much. Okay, now if we could then go to the last use case, which is going to be Simatic. Okay, everyone, we're down to our last use case that we want to demonstrate today, and what we're doing here is something very unique. We're going to be demonstrating how you can run emulation of actual manufacturing lines. And when I use the word emulation, I mean emulation. We're actually running the real source code running on a manufacturer's PLC and virtualizing that information and then visualizing it in virtual reality. And so what we're able to do now is we're now able to bring people into for example, a virtual commissioning or virtual testing of an actual factory line, and having people join that session remotely and actually engage and interact with the equipment. So I'd like to introduce you today to Alberto Carlier. Alberto is our product manager at Virtualware. And Alberto, take it away and explain to us what's going on.
Yeah, thanks, Jan. So you explained it just perfectly. So this still blows my mind. This is called Simumatic and the integration with VIROO. As you said, we are able to connect in real time to automation systems. So engineers can plan and design, prototype, and test this automation system even before building prototypes. So what we are doing is connecting in real time to PLCs, robots, and all these systems. And we can even, with the integration with VIROO, test it in virtual reality. Since we've shown before with the demo of the kitchen, when we are in VR, we have one-to-one scale, so we can see how it exactly works, all the measures, and we can see if these systems actually are going to make an impact on our factory. So we can test this before just building the prototypes, saving costs, saving risk. And this is really good because it's not just simulating, but as you said, really cool is emulating. Okay, so this has been in real time, and we are able to replicate every simulation, every physics of the system that is then going to be deployed to the factory even before. And this can be used to design, prototype, and even retrofitting. When you have obsolete machinery that you want to repurpose in any other place in the factory, you can use this system to see if it's going to work and it's going to provide value to your company.
Alberto, just one thing. You're not mute in VIROO, so we are hearing you twice.
Sorry.
Okay.
Now I'm. Okay.
Okay. So Alberto, can people that are participating in virtual reality interact with the manufacturing line and make changes? Is that possible?
Exactly. This is one of the best things that is in real time, because if there's changes in the factory, they're going to be applied in real time in the simulation and vice versa. So whenever a user, even wearing a headset or just keyboard and mouse, interacts with the virtual digital twin, it's going to impact in the real factory. So you can just emulate, or you can be connected in real time to the factory to see changes in real time. Yeah.
How big a factory line can you put in a Simumatic instance?
How big? Oh, this is one of the cool things about VR, that you can deploy as big as you want. We have infinite space here. It only depends on the power of your computer, but we talked about that before, that VIROO is a really efficient platform. So even running on low-end PCs are going to run just fine, and you can go as big as you want. Probably there's no factory big in the planet that doesn't fit inside Simumatic.
Okay, so my understanding is that Simumatic itself is a third-party product that is used to have folks emulate code. They can then take that code and push it into the actual manufacturing line. VIROO is the collaboration platform, and you've integrated these two. Is that correct?
Exactly. Simumatic was a cloud-based platform that was focused on emulation, these digital twins. It was so cool that we partnered with them, and we acquired this company last year, and we integrated with VIROO to provide that VR visualization, that interaction that allows many users across the globe to make this cool application multi-user and multi-device. So you can join from anyone across the globe using VR headsets, using your laptop, and even different brands. If you have a MetaQuest, if you have a HTC or a Pico, doesn't matter. VIROO just solves that for you.
Alberto, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for that explanation. I got a question for you. So you've been working in manufacturing and 3D for your entire career. What are some of the benefits that manufacturers could get from taking this approach?
I mean, really, it's the classic situation whenever you're developing new machinery, and especially if you've got equipment coming from multiple different vendors, how does it all work together? Do all the controls work as expected? Do you get the cycle times that you're expecting? And there's always a commissioning phase where you're frankly wringing out all of the bugs in the system. And a tool like Simumatic really helps you virtually commission equipment so that you can work those problems out during the design phase. And once you actually have the physical equipment and you're ready to install it and get started, you're cutting time out of that process. You're cutting waste. So it helps improve cost, schedule compliance, it really cuts back on travel with people flying out to a site to make sure, to essentially debug equipment. There are loads of benefits.
Yeah. Well, and these manufacturing systems are very, very complex, and different manufacturers and different products, and they all have to work together. And so I can imagine that flying people to a location every single time they make a change is quite cost prohibitive.
100%. And so, and this is just such a better way of working out these issues in advance.
All right.
Yeah. Think that in the industrial aspects we are working on in this approach, we are trying to be able to join and help our potential customers in the whole value chain. Right now, you control the design. Right now, you control the PLCs, you control the machine, you control the physics, you have the information. And with VIROO, you are able to integrate it in a complete collaborative space. Of course, think on design, but think on maintenance, think on training, think on fixing setup time. There are lots of different processes that need to be evaluated, that need to be measured, that at the end need our industrial partners' knowledge in order to be deployed. We use the key enabling technologies to do that. So this really opens a huge horizon of possibilities in terms of industry. Absolutely. Great presentation. Thank you.
That's a great point. Hey, that's a great point, Jesus. And the other thing I forgot to mention earlier too is this particular application. Right now, you see it kind of with a white floor and a clouds in the sky in the background. But this can also be enabled in mixed reality, so that, for example, the equipment that you've got that you see here, you can, if you're standing in an environment, say where it's going to be installed, you can enable mixed reality so you have pass through and you see only the equipment in virtual space, and then you see the real world in physical space. So that's also just one of the capabilities we don't show very often in VIROO, but I thought it was important to mention that this application is enabled for that.
Okay, well, that basically concludes the demonstrations that we were planning to do today. We could go on and on and on, but I think we've demonstrated today the power of this. And so, Ed, at the beginning of this, we said that we believed that this was going to be a world's first. And when we said world's first, we meant multi-user, multi-device, multi-location, multi-location-based tracking platforms running multiple different use cases, including digital twins training, architecture, engineering. Do you think that we've demonstrated that?
I think we demonstrated it. And I think importantly for customers, what we demonstrated is just the flexibility of, come as you are with the hardware you have. And in most cases, that's going to be what you need. So it's, I think absolutely this was a really solid demonstration of that.